Hello everyone, welcome back to our online classes. I am Mrs. Nehal Mori and I heartily welcome you today, children. Children, today we are going to learn chapter 6 of our history textbook, Towns, Traders and Craftspersons. In this entire chapter, we will be learning about towns, traders and craftspersons. Now, let's begin. What will a traveler visiting a medieval town expect to find? If you are a traveler and if you are visiting a medieval town, what are you going to expect to find over there? This will depend on what kind of the scent. Yes, this will depend on what kind of a town you have visited. There were different types of town in the medieval period. For example, a temple town. Okay, for example, I'll show you a temple town, an administrative center, a commercial town, okay, or a port town. Or a port town. There were different types of town, okay, and some of them sometimes it was combined also. Sometimes it had a combined functions. That means a town which was a temple town had the administrative center also, and also it has the commercial activities also. Understood? Sometimes the towns were not only temple towns, administrative center, but they were having combined functions. In fact, many towns were having several combined functions, and they were administrative centers, temple towns, centers of commercial activities and craft production. It was not necessary a town will be only a temple town. Understood? Okay, here in the map they have given you the important centers of trade. Now, which of they given? Surat is there, Hampi and Masalipatnam. Okay. These were the important centers of the trade in the medieval period. Now let's begin. Administrative centers. Now how the administrative centers worked. Now we read about the Chola dynasty in chapter 2nd. If you remember, we have read in detail about the Chola dynasty in chapter 2nd. Now let us travel to Thanjavur. Thanjavur was the capital of Chola dynasty, right? So let us travel in our imagination to Thanjavur. Imagine, children, that you are using a time machine and you are traveling to Thanjavur 1,000 years back. Okay, so what will you see there? Are you going to see cars, motorbikes or aeroplanes, any modern equipments, mobiles and all? No, the world will be completely different from now, right? So a perennial, what you if you go there, then what will you see there? See, they have given you an what to say, an situation where you can imagine that you have done a time travel and you have visited Thanjavur 1,000 years back. And what are you going to see there? A perennial river, Kaveri, flows near this beautiful town. Now, what's the meaning of perennial? Everybody knows perennial means a river which is flowing throughout the year. And perennial and seasonal. Seasonal rivers flow only during the rainy season, whereas perennial rivers, they have water throughout the year. So a perennial river, and what's the name of the river? Kaveri. Kaveri is flowing near this beautiful town, Thanjavur. Near the Thanjavur, Kaveri river is flowing. One hears the bells of a Raja Rajeshwara temple built by King Raja Raja Chola. King Raja Raja Chola was one of the greatest king of Chola dynasty. And what can you hear there? That if you go to Tanjavur, you can see the Kaveri river flowing. You can hear the bells of Raja Rajeshwara temple. And who has built it? King Raja Raja Chola. The town peoples are all praised for his architecture. Now the town peoples are all praising the architect. Who is the architect of the temple? Now see, Kunjar Mallan Raja Raja Peru Thachan. These are the South Indian names. So Kunjar Mallan Raja Raja Perun Thachan was the architect of the temple, and he has proudly carved his name on the temple wall, saying that I am the architecture of this beautiful temple. Okay, and inside is a massive Shivlinga. What is the meaning of massive Shivlinga? Means a very huge. Massive means very big, huge. Okay, it's a massive Shivlinga. Besides the temple, there are places with mandapas and or pavilions. Now, there are places where mandapa and pavilions are there. Now, king hold court in the mandapa. King is holding the courts and he is issuing the orders to his subordinates in the mandaps. And there are also a barracks for the army. Now, what is the meaning of barracks? Barracks means a place where soldiers live. Okay, a building or a group of buildings where soldiers live. The town is bustling with markets selling grains. The town is having a lot of rush and it's bustling, means it's having a lot of noise there. Why? Because people are selling grains, spices, grains, spices, cloth, jewelry. Okay, a water supply for the town came from, this is what you are imagining when you go to Tanjavur. See, if you go there, you can see the town is bustling with markets selling grains, spices, cloth, jewelry. Water supply for the town comes from the wells and tanks. When you go there, you can see the water supply for the town is coming from the wells and tanks. The Salia weavers of Tanjavur and the nearby town of Uriyur are busy producing cloths. Now when you go there, you will see that some weavers are busy producing cloths for the flags. Why? Because there's a temple festival. Now fine cotton cloths are for the kings and the nobility, and coarse are for the masses. Now what is the meaning of fine cotton cloth? Pure fine means the very good high quality of cotton cloths were for the kings and the nobility. Nobility means the people, rich people who are working under the king. And the coarse cotton cloth means what? Low quality cotton cloth. Okay, were for the masses. Masses means what? People in the kingdom. Some distance away was a Swami Malai. The Sthapatis or the sculptures are making exquisite bronze idols. Means what? Extremely beautiful. Exquisite means what? Extremely beautiful bronze idols and tall ornamental bell metal lamps. So you can find the whole town is busy in some of the other work. Now temple towns and the pilgrimage centers. If you go there, what you'll see, Thanjavur is also an example of a temple town. Yeah, beautiful temples are built in Thanjavur. So it's a very good example of a temple town. Temple town represent a very important pattern of urbanization. A temple town is representing a very important pattern of urbanization. Urbanization, okay, the process by which cities develop. Urbanization means what? The process by which cities are developed. Bigger villages, smaller villages combine together and they form a cities. Temples were often central to the economy and society. Temples were playing a very, very important role in economy and also in building up the society. Rulers built temples to demonstrate their devotion to the various deities. Now, I have told you this also. Rulers were very much interested in building temples because they wanted to show their power. They wanted to show the devotion to the various deities. They also endowed temples with grants. They also gave they endowed the temples with grants. Means they gave a huge money in donation, right? Endowed means they donated, right? They also endowed temples with grants of land and of money to carry out elaborate rituals. Elaborate means huge rituals like yajna, puja and all those things. They gave lot of money, they donated lot of money to the temples so that that money can be used to carry out the rituals. Feed pilgrims means whoever comes there to visit the temple to, yes, they must be given food, means to feed pilgrims and the priest and celebrate festivals. Pilgrims were flocked to the temples, also made donations. Pilgrims who flocked means what? Who came in a huge number in a group. Many people came to visit the temple. Even they donated. Even today, when we go to the temple, we put money in the donation box, right? According to our own wish, we put 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 50 rupees, 100 rupees, whatever is our wish, everybody puts there. So, a lot of money was gathered in the temple. Okay, now let's see, bronze bell metal and the lost wax technique. Now this is very, very interesting. Bronze is an alloy containing copper and tin. Bell metal contains a greater proportion of tin than other kinds of bronze. Now bronze, what was the lost wax techniques? This is very interesting. Now see, I'll tell you how the bronze statues were made in the medieval period. Bronze is an alloy. It's a mixture of copper and tin. Where when we want to make a bell metal, then greater proportion was tin was used, because the bell metal, when you when you bang a bell, what happens, different kind of noise comes from it. So for that thing, tin was used more in that metal, and this produces a bell like sound. When you see the vibrations, you can see the bell vibration. Why it is done? Because tin is used more in it. And Chola bronze statues were made from the Chola bronze statues are very popular in history, and they are very even today if you find it, they are very rare and very expensive. Okay, Chola statues, bronze statues, see, were made by lost wax technique. Now, what was the lost wax technique? First, an image was made of wax. So, firstly, the image was completely made of wax, and this was covered with clay and allowed to dry. When the wax image was made, it was covered with clay. It was covered with clay, means it was completely covered with the clay, and that clay was allowed to dry. Next, it was heated. Next, afterwards, the clay was heated, and due to that heat, what happens inside, wax get melt, and there was a small hole, was a tiny hole was made in the clay cover, and all the heated wax, molten wax, the liquid form wax was removed from the clay. Okay, then what happened, then you get a hollow thing, right, a hollow clay model. Inside that, again the molten metal was put, so, and metal was poured into the same hole where the wax was removed. From the same hole, the molten metal, liquid form metal was poured, so bronze metal was poured inside it, liquid bronze. And then what happened after that, the metal, it was allowed to cool and solidify. After long periods, it was cooling and it was becoming solid. And once the metal was cooled and solidified, the clay cover was carefully removed, and the image was cleaned and polished. It was clean and polished, and thus you can get such a beautiful bronze metal images or a bronze metal statues. Understood? Okay. Now the temple authorities use their wealth to finance trade and banking. Now, as I told you, the temples were having lot of money with them, because many kings, nobles, even the common peoples were donating a lot for the temples. So temple authorities were having a lot of wealth with them. So what are they going to do with that much of money? So they started investing in finance, trade and banking. Gradually, a large number of priest workers, artisans, traders, etc. settled near the temple to cater to its need and those to the pilgrims. So what happened eventually, people started, more and more people started visiting temples. So many people started settling near the temples to see the needs, to cater means to see the needs of the people who are coming as a pilgrims over there. Thus grew the temple town. So because of this thing, what happened, temples town started growing. Towns emerged around temples such as those of the Billa Swamini or Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh and the Somnath in Gujarat. Other important temple towns included Kanchipuram and Madurai in Tamil Nadu and Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. So these kind of temple towns started emerging. Pilgrim centers also slowly developed in township. Now slowly pilgrim centers started developing in the township. Vrindavan in Uttar Pradesh, Tirunamal Tirunamallai in Tamil Nadu are the examples of such towns. Ajmer, Rajasthan was the capital of Chauhan king. Ajmer was the capital of Chauhan king, Rajasthan. It is in Rajasthan in 12th century and later became a Suba, headquarter under the Mughals. Afterwards, when it came under Mughals, it became a headquarter, Suba of the Mughals. It provides an excellent example of the religious coexistence. Why it provides an example? Because both for Hindus and for Muslims, it is a very religious importance place. Khwaja Minuddin Chisti, the celebrated Suf saint who settled there in the 12th century, attracted devotees from all creeds. Khwaja Minuddin Chisti, he attracted, means not only the Muslims but also Hindus visited him there, okay, in 12th century. All the devotees from all the creeds, means all the caste and religions. Near Ajmer is a lake Pushkar, which has attracted pilgrims from the ancient times. Near Ajmer, we can see the lake of Pushkar, and that it has attracted pilgrims from the ancient times. Now, here I will stop with part 1, part 2 and part 3 I will send you later on. Thank you for watching. Thank you.